held its first debate over the weekend.
The economy is expected to expand 2.5% this year.
Korea's ties with its global partners on the sidelines of the status UN summit. A massive drone attack on Ukraine overnight on Monday and Tuesday.
Arirang.
The moment we wear it, our spirits lift. It helps us grow strong in body and in mind. As we wear it, we learn patience and respect. The belt system motivates students to strive harder and continue growing. This uniform shapes movement into grace and turns performance into something thrilling. Now, embraced around the world, Taekwondo shares our culture, philosophy, and values with pride and spirit. Though it may seem simple, this uniform holds your passion and your journey. It belongs to Taekwondo. Wear the extraordinary. Be with Taekwondo.
Hundreds of online government public services, including postal and tax services, are facing massive disruption following a fire at South Korea's national data center. The government says it could take about 2 weeks to fully restore these services. Starting today, Chinese visitors can travel to South Korea without a visa. This change, in effect until June next year, comes as Korea seeks to attract more Chinese tourists to boost the economy. Top diplomats from North Korea and China met in Beijing and agreed to deepen cooperation while vowing to stand against Washington. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. We begin today with a fire that broke out at the National Data Infrastructure Center on Friday evening, disrupting key online government services here in South Korea. The government is now working on relocating the damaged systems, but says it could take around 2 weeks to fully restore these services. Our Moon Ji-young starts us off.
Some key online government services are currently unavailable or facing massive delays following a fire at the National Information Resources Service in Daejeon on Friday. The fire started when a lithium-ion battery exploded in a server room in the building. The incident has caused a nationwide paralysis of 647 government administrative and civil services. Of these, 96 were severely damaged. As of Monday morning, the government announced that it has restored 47 services, including mobile ID services, the healthcare big data system, the gov.kr government portal for civil application services, and the banking services provided by Korea Post. Meanwhile, applications for the second round of government-issued consumption coupons are also still available, but the government civil complaint website remains suspended. People can visit local community service centers instead. The government said it is preparing to relocate the 96 damaged systems to the agency's branch in the southeastern city of Daegu, a process expected to take around 2 weeks. With the Chuseok holiday approaching, there's a high likelihood of delays at public institutions as administrative tasks are expected to surge. During an emergency meeting on Sunday, President Lee Jae-myung apologized for the inconveniences caused, citing the lack of an emergency system.
이번 화재 때문에 국민들께서 큰 불편과 불안을 겪고 있습니다. 국정의 최고 책임자로서 송구하다는 말씀을 먼저 드립니다. 당연히 비용을 들여서라도 대책을 세웠어야 되는데 이 예측 가능한 일이 실제로 벌어졌고 대비책은 없었다는 것입니다.
President Lee further emphasized the need for a thorough investigation, noting that a similar disruption occurred 2 years ago and criticizing the lack of a dual operating system. Lee called for around-the-clock efforts to swiftly restore key public systems and resume their operations to prevent further public inconvenience in essential daily services. Meanwhile, a dedicated investigation team is probing the cause of the fire, was started when an uninterruptible power supply lithium-ion battery exploded. The investigators are focusing on battery management and safety protocols with relevant personnel. 문지영, Arirang News.
Starting today, Chinese tourists can travel to South Korea visa-free. Under the new scheme, which runs until June 30th of next year, organized tour groups of 3 or more can enter for up to 15 days without a visa. South Korean nationals have been able to enter China without a visa for short-term visits since last November. The government hopes this move will attract an additional 1 million Chinese visitors, providing a significant boost to the economy. The timing is critical, coming just before China's week-long National Day holiday, a peak travel season. While the immediate effects may be gradual, industry experts anticipate a steady increase in arrivals toward the end of the year. And meanwhile, in China, the country's foreign minister Wang Yi met with his North Korean counterpart Choi Sun-hee in Beijing on Sunday, where the two pledged to deepen exchanges and cooperation while delivering a pointed message towards Washington. According to China's foreign ministry, Wang reaffirmed that strengthening ties with Pyongyang is a firm strategic policy of Beijing's. He also called for closer communication to promote peace and development in the region. In response, Choi said Pyongyang will work with Beijing to strengthen strategic communication, expand exchanges, and deepen cooperation. Wang also criticized power politics and bullying by the United States and praised North Korea's support for China's core interests and President Xi Jinping's global initiatives. Over the weekend, South Korea's Navy celebrated the 80th anniversary of its founding with a fleet review in waters off the coast of Busan. Our defense correspondent Kim Bo-kyung was there.
With the commander of the Navy's latest Aegis destroyer, the ROK's Jeongjo the Great, reporting the commencement of the Maritime Fleet Review to the Defense Minister, the Navy's fleet review began. Celebrating the 80th anniversary of the Navy's founding, this year's fleet review was the 6th in the Navy's history, with the first coming in 1945. I'm currently on the deck of the Navy's 4,900-ton amphibious landing ship Ilchubong, where defense officials, including the minister, are on board for the fleet review, showcasing the country's naval strength both at sea and in the air. Along with ROK's Ilchubong were 14,500-ton large transport ship Barado, which recently took part in the U.S. and Australia-led Talisman Sabre drills as a lead ship, and the landing ship Dojokbong, which had around 2,000 members of the public on board. A series of warships and aircraft, including the latest MH-60R maritime operation helicopters and the Aegis destroyers Haejong the Great, also featured, along with submarines. With the Navy showing off its capabilities, South Korea's defense chief underlined the importance of maritime security.
Maritime security is directly linked to the nation's survival. Since 99.7% of our country's trade is conducted by sea, maritime routes are essentially the lifeline of the nation.
The fleet review included an anti-submarine operation where P-8A maritime patrol aircraft, MH-60R and Lynx helicopters detected and tracked an enemy submarine before releasing a training torpedo. A demonstration of the Navy's firepower followed, involving both manned and unmanned assets responding to enemy vessels. People who got a chance to see the event enjoyed every minute of it.
Seeing the Navy's capabilities in person made me realize how strong our national defense is. I feel confident that we can trust and rely on our Navy to protect our country.
Showcasing its vision of becoming a leading maritime power, the ROK Navy was able to demonstrate its strength and get closer to the public. 김보경, 아리랑 뉴스, 부산.
And here in Seoul, Seocho-gu District's annual Seoripul Festival has returned again this year, but bigger and better with an emphasis on music. Its aim is to promote the district through a wide range of musical and arts performances. Our An Sung-jin was there over the weekend.
Seocho is the music. This is the slogan for this year's Seoripul Festival, the signature culture and art celebration of Seoul's Seocho-gu District. As it celebrates its 10th anniversary, the festival has been rebranded as the Seoripul Music Festival, with the district pledging to put an emphasis on the rhythms of joy.
This fall, one of Seoul's busiest boulevards, Pampodero, has been transformed into a vibrant stage by bringing music and various performances onto the streets.
From classical concerts to traditional Korean performances, the festival offers a wide range of harmonious ensembles for visitors to enjoy.
Marking its 10th anniversary, the festival now adds music to its name to highlight its expanded focus. The festival showcases a full spectrum of music for its visitors.
But the highlight of the festival is the 2,600 square meter sketchbook. The 900-meter stretch of the busy Pampodero Road was closed off so that visitors could use color chalk to draw on the streets, transforming the city into a grand stage.
Everything here is so much fun, and I am very excited to be here. My favorite parts are the largest sketchbook and diverse musical performances. I hope this festival continues.
And Arirang TV also set up a booth to share its dedication for K-pop.
Alongside Arirang TV, which we have a long history with, we wanted to open this collaboration booth to contribute to society.
The annual music festival, which was held over the weekend, attracted some 250,000 visitors in another successful artistic celebration for the district. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
In other news, South Korea's southern city of Jeonju hosted the first ever Dronesoccer World Cup. The event, which kicked off on Thursday, drew thousands of participants from more than 30 countries. Our culture correspondent Park Gon-woo covers some of the action that took place in the air.
After the referee blows the whistle, 5 players on each team start to fly for their fierce battle. Unlike regular soccer matches, it's not athletes running on grass. It's these spear-shaped flying machines buzzing through the air. This drone soccer ball looks just like any other sports ball, but once you switch it on, it's now ready to take off and fly into the ring that's set way above the ground. Controlled by each pilot, the drones each have their own roles. Those in attacking position aim to shoot, and those in defense block the rings. During the game, collisions are fierce, with drones crashing to the ground. But just like human players shaking off an injury, they quickly rise again and rejoin the game. Matches that are tied even go to penalty shootouts, where one drone has just 5 seconds to score as many as it can, while another drone blocks the ring. These intense competitions took place at the world's first Dronesoccer World Cup in Jeonju over 4 days through the weekend. Around 1,600 participants from 33 countries across 6 continents took part.
Drone is getting so popular in over the world, and then I looked into the whole game. It's a new sport, and it's really innovation, and it's so exciting.
Korean techniques are the highest level of all the world, so we came here to learn about how they play in teams, and also what material they use, because it's important how the drone is assembled.
As the birthplace of drone soccer, Korea has been dominating many of the matches, and some pilots share what's required to be a great player.
Piloting skills are the fundamentals, so I practice 4 to 5 hours a day. But as a team, communication is just as important, so we constantly shout instructions, who's attacking, who's defending during the game.
As the World Cup shows how far drone technologies has flown, drone soccer may be the next game to really soar as it takes flight from Korea to the world. Park Gon-woo, Arirang News, Jeonju.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. Iran has strongly condemned the reimposition of United Nations sanctions over its nuclear program, calling them unlawful and saying they undermine diplomatic efforts. On Sunday, Iran's foreign ministry denounced the reinstatement of UN sanctions on Iran 10 years after they were lifted, labeling them unjustifiable, illegal, and a violation of international law. Iran claims the move is politically motivated and refuses to recognize the legitimacy of the snapback process. That process was initiated by the UK, France, and Germany, who cited lack of cooperation from Tehran. The snapback process automatically reimposes all UN sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program, including arms embargoes, halting uranium enrichment support, and asset freezes targeted at individuals and entities tied to Iran's nuclear and missile programs. In Europe, Denmark has imposed a week-long ban on civilian drone flights, following fresh drone sightings at military bases over the weekend, just as Copenhagen prepares to host a high-level EU summit. The Danish government announced on Sunday that civilian drones will be banned nationwide from Monday to Friday during the week of the EU summit, citing security concerns after drones were observed over several military bases over the weekend and civilian airports last week. NATO also announced it would deploy an air defense frigate in the Baltic Sea in response to last week's drone incidents. The Danish Transportation Ministry stated that the temporary ban on all civilian drones flying in Danish airspace aims to remove the risk that enemy drones can be confused with legal drones. It warned that violations may result in fines or imprisonment for up to 2 years. Denmark will hold the rotating EU presidency, and the summit of leaders and officials is scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. In India, at least 39 people, including children, were killed and dozens were injured on Saturday evening in a crowd crush at a political rally in Karur, Tamil Nadu state. The rally was hosted by actor-turned-politician Vijay as part of his 2026 state elections campaign. According to reports, more than double the 10,000 people permitted for the rally had gathered when the crowd surged forward suddenly during Vijay's address. Vijay expressed heartbreak over the tragedy, and the Tamil Nadu government announced compensation for the families of the deceased. Finally, American pop star Selena Gomez has married music producer Benny Blanco, confirming the union in a social media post. Blanco responded to her post, writing, "My wife in real life." The wedding ceremony, an intimate gathering of close friends and industry peers, was held outdoors in Santa Barbara, California. Celebrity guests in attendance included Taylor Swift, who reportedly gave a speech. Gomez wore a white halter dress with floral details, while Blanco donned a tuxedo and bow tie, both custom-made by Ralph Lauren. Gomez, 33, and Blanco, 37, met about a decade ago and got engaged at the end of last year. Choi Ji-hee, Arirang News.
As September draws to a close, it's a perfect day to feel the deepening of autumn. We had a cooler start than yesterday, and temperatures will rise throughout the day to around 25 degrees, so there is a gap in readings, but the air should feel very comfortable. Skies across the country will be partly cloudy today, with a chance of passing showers in some of the central east regions. And this afternoon, highs will be 1 to 5 degrees higher, topping out at 25 in Seoul, Daejeon, Gwangju, warmer over in Busan at 27 degrees. Rain is also in the forecast for the southern regions later this week as the holiday weekend begins. The rest of the country will stay mostly sunny, but be aware that the daily temperature gaps will remain wide. So do dress accordingly. You don't want to get sick before the long holiday.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
Feeling overwhelmed by a busy life without knowing where